Okay. The theme for the day is not play. The theme for the day is if you're happy and you know it.
Oh.
We have a song about that too, don't we?
Yeah.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your smile will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I'm not going to talk about that either. Actually, I am. But happiness is something that we all would like to have if we don't already have it. Happiness. Now, how many of you are familiar with blue and gold sausage? You know, the big things that come like so, Boy Scouts sell it, etc. Well, I'm not going to talk about blue and gold sausage either. But my friend Ron Simpson posted a thing on Facebook, and maybe you've seen it, but it will look like about the same size as blue and gold sausage. And it was pink in a cellophane wrapper, and the wrapper said, vegetarian ham, chicken flavored. Yeah, exactly. Vegetarian ham, chicken flavored. Now, if that doesn't puzzle you, I don't know what does. It's like, oh my gosh, talk about an identity crisis. This particular thing probably would have one. And I'm not really going to talk about that either. But it was something that I thought was amusing. Oh my gosh, vegetarian ham, chicken flavored. I don't know if you've cottoned on to this yet, but it's the time of proms and graduations. You notice that? Billboards and ads and stuff going on for people who are completing classes and moving into the next phase of whatever's going on in their life. We finished the Prac 2 class. Everybody took the test. Everybody passed. Yes. They have one more thing. That's the in-live panel. I'm sure that'll be good too. Change, graduations and such, brings with it an opportunity to begin again, to start over, to move one step closer to who you are trying to become and who you love. Each of us are graduating every single day, because tomorrow is different from today. We have an opportunity, each and every one of us, to be a different person tomorrow than we are today. And most of us will be. Trust me, pounds will come on, hair will fall out. We'll be different tomorrow than we are today. You know, that it just works that way. We might as well take advantage of it and do the changes that we want and face our transformation with enthusiasm, courage, and reverence, and an open heart. It's never too late to have a new beginning. And know that anything is possible. So when we're in the process of doing that, we want to have great faith. We want to be able to imagine the impossible. We want to look at things as if they could be, instead of looking at them with our old eyes, take off our glasses, quit using the pictures that we have in the past, and look at possibilities. You know, if you can't see clearly, there's all kinds of possibilities out there. It's only when you put those old glasses back on that things come into focus-ish. Believe in yourself. Believe in a benevolent universe that conspires to support you and assist you in every way possible. Trust me, if you believe in a universe that does not support you, you will be right. It won't support you. But if you believe in one that's there to help you all the time, you'll get your wish. Believe with your whole heart in your own magnificence and the highest, most unlimited version of yourself, and know beyond all doubt that grace is always lifting up your plans and dreams. As a new graduate into tomorrow, dream big. If you can dream it, you can be it. If you can imagine it, you can build it. Paramahansa Yogananda says, tune yourself with the creative power of spirit. You will be in contact with the infinite intelligence that is able to guide you and solve all problems. Power from the dynamic source of your being will flow uninterruptedly so that you will be able to perform creatively any sphere of activity. My third point for the graduates, lead with your heart. Develop the ability to silence your thoughts, because your brain is going 90 miles an hour in 45 directions, and listen to the voice of your heart through intuition and hidden guidance. And then listen to those promptings that your heart is telling you and follow them. When your heart leads, you will always have a North Star and a moral compass. And my last point about the graduation is follow your bliss. When Joseph Campbell came up with that phrase in The Power of Myth, a generation of seekers resonated to this truth. Joy is the most important signpost, affirming that we are on the right spiritual path. The future goal is not your life. The path is your life. The path is your life. What are you doing today? There's only now. You're on a path now. And tomorrow morning, when you start your new life as a graduate of today, you'll be on a different path. But it's your choice about what path you take. All right, enough of that stuff. Happiness stems from the state of mind and an attitude. We can choose to shift our attitude by focusing on something that brings us joy. Whether from a memory or doing something that is pleasing, focusing on gratitude or our many blessings is a great feeling bummed buster. Okay, so when you feel down, focus on gratitude, makes you feel better. Yeah, makes us even happier than we are. Take a deep breath, sway your body from the right to the left. You know, it's gratitude, and you'll feel good. A big dog saw a puppy chasing its tail and asked, "Why are you chasing your tail that way?" And the puppy said, oh so smart puppy, "I have studied philosophy and solved the problems of the universe that no dog ever before has solved." The puppy answered, "And I have found out that the best thing to a dog in life is happiness, and that my happiness is in my tail. And that is why I'm chasing it. And when I catch it, I will reach happiness." Now, how many of you ever seen a dog that's tail was not going 90 miles an hour if you weren't scolding it? You know, I mean, it doesn't go fast when you're scolding it, but as long as the dog is relatively happy, the tail is going, right? It goes. "Son," the dog said, "in my young days, I was also interested in the questions of the universe. I also thought that happiness is in the tail. And in the beginning, I was also chasing it. But later I noticed that wherever I go and whatever I do, the tail was following me. And then I understood I don't need to chase it. Happiness can be right where you are." So the way to happiness is through gratitude. Find joy in the smallest miracles and blessings. And that might be ice cream. It could be, I know ice cream is one of your favorite things. It could be flowers blooming or being right here. The scent is very interesting. It's very good, very nice. The beauty that we see. Have you watched the wind pick up the leaves and spin them around? If you're not the one that has to rake the leaves, that's very interesting and can be very nice, right? If you're the one that has to rake the leaves, you may not be so happy when they're doing that. Happiness can be in the tiniest of things. Look for the unexpected to shift when you shift your view. When you're looking at things from a different point of view, you'll see things differently. The fake it till you make it and act as though it is principles are all about turning one's attention to what we want to accomplish, not necessarily to what is happening right now. It's a mental equivalent and eventually comes to pass. And gratitude, a loving act of kindness that brings the giver and the receiver a sense of joy. So relish in the good stuff. In the siblings of happiness are contentment, joy, gratification, satisfaction, well-being, and gratitude. Human kindness, human experiences joys and pains, ups and downs, light and darkness, both sides of the continuum. And if you don't have both sides, you won't appreciate the light and the joy and the happiness. If we never had darkness, we wouldn't be appreciative of the light. But when the power goes off and we're in the dark, we are appreciative of the light, whether that's a candle or the sunshine or whatever it might be. The experience of both sides provides greater appreciation for both sides. You don't know what you're missing until you don't have it. Happiness is a feeling that can be introduced by a myriad of activators, from the tangible things to the abstract. But in my opinion, happiness is a choice. I can choose to be happy with whatever it is, or I can choose to be miserable. And I don't want to be miserable, do you? So I choose happiness. My friend Jack had polio when he was 6 years old. He spent months in an iron lung on his back, with immobilized so that the lung was breathing for him. He has horrible stories about what it was like to be in the iron lung that we would think, oh my gosh, cruelty to children, because he was 6. And yet he survived. He's paralyzed from the hips down. But that has not stopped him from leading an active life. He has a son. He has grandsons. He's always driven, that I've known him, a car with an automatic accelerator on the handle, on the steering wheel, so he can drive it because he has no use of his legs. Moves through with crutches. He's always considered himself to be differently abled. And so I considered him to be differently abled. And so when we were talking about what I was going to talk about in this speech today, he said, you know, the fact that sometimes I'm in pain and sometimes it's a great deal of pain does not stop me from being happy. I can be happy anyway. I can be happy that I can move around. And happiness now comes in smaller things than it used to when I was 21, which does for me too, doesn't it for you? It's, you know, back when I was 21, happiness needed big things. Now it doesn't. Ice cream, I know. So when we are looking for happiness, we want to look within. Happiness isn't outside of us. And it's unrealistic to rely on other people for our happiness. They aren't going to make us happy. They might do things and we might think we're happy because they did, but that's not necessarily the truth. Now, some of us might not want to hold ourselves responsible for our own happiness. We like the ability to blame somebody else if we're not happy, right? Ask any 12-year-old. Oh yeah, mom, it's maybe I get a 14, 15-year-old. It's mom, it's your fault that I'm not happy because you didn't raise my allowance. You didn't let me go to that party. You know, all of those restriction things. But when we look for our own sources of joy, when we look for the things that make us happy, we can find them because they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And it doesn't matter if it seems silly to others what brings us joy. Just listening to Sue sing brings joy to my heart. It does. I've told her often, I've driven back and forth across the country listening to her music all the time, singing with it, because it keeps me awake and it's good. And when you're singing, you get all this energy going through. Have you noticed when you're singing, you have way more energy than when you're just sitting there listening to it? Just saying. But happiness is not based on material things. They can bring a sense of pleasure and even happiness, but what's the feeling behind having whatever it is? It looks nice, or it is beautiful, or it's functional, or it helps us, and we feel good about whatever that is. What generates the feeling that makes us squeal with delight from within and warms our insides? What is that? Perhaps it's been hiding from us, or we've been prevented from exploring it, given life circumstances or the lives that we've lived. But now's the time to change that, because it's our graduation. We're graduating from today to tomorrow. So we can have a new tomorrow, beginning with whatever we want to do. A businessman had been sharing some photos of children crawling around on the top of a Lamborghini, saying that the happiness of the children is the most valuable thing in the world. $1 million Lamborghini is nothing compared to the joy of the children. So he allowed the kids to play on the top of the Lamborghini. The thing is, the kids aren't his, and neither was the Lamborghini. So if you're happy and you know it, that whole song is a dedication of happiness and joy. Even if you're feeling sad, music can shift that sad to joy. If you can find the right songs that move you. It's an affirmation. The song has us proclaim and follow along. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hurrah. Just the act of participating in that song makes us feel better and smile. It brings gladness to our hearts from where we are, puts us in a different state of mind. Even if we're already happy, our happiness meter goes up. Singing, humming, smiling, and dancing does the same thing. Now, Snow White, remember back now to your childhood. So I know that all of you should be familiar with Snow White. She encouraged the animals to whistle while you work. You remember that? She encouraged the animals in the song, which has the same effect. I can't remember that, how that one goes. I can't whistle either. So the principle behind if you're happy and you know it is the same as the one behind whistle while you work. It's an affirmation, a declaration, and a mental equivalent to live a happy, healthy life. And to show it out loud. So if I've done my work today, when you go home, you'll be singing, if you're happy and you know it, slap your hands all the way home. It'll get in your brain and you won't be able to let it go. The third point in today's talk about if you're happy and you know it, is it starts with you. Most of the centers for spiritual living have at one point or another had some form of peace song at the end of the service. Not all of them do, and not all of them do anymore. But it used to be real common. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. It begins with us. Basically, it says now that the moment for peace on earth and every single step starts right here, starts right now with me. So as I'm moving into my graduation tomorrow, I want to be a more peaceful person. than I was today. And I don't have an answer for how to make that peace go all the way around the world, but it starts here. And if I'm not peaceful, it won't ever be peaceful all the way around the world. So one of the things I do to be peaceful, when I start my car, when I turn that ignition and buckle that seatbelt, I am telling myself, I am sending forth peace and love, and I'm moving in perfect safety. Every time, buckle the seatbelt. Those are the mental images. Those are the words that come out. Like I'm a lighthouse shining out peace and love, and then surrounding myself in perfect safety because I'm in a car. I'm going to be moving. It's just one little way, one little thing, one little habit to begin to get into that says, oh yeah, gratitude. We do that. A Ukrainian man hiding in a Mariupol, if I pronounced that right, I have no clue, bomb shelter, spotted a car with the keys in the ignition. He gathered his family in the car, drove to a relatively safer town of Vinnytsia. While driving, I don't know how you do this, he found the phone number in the glove compartment. I can give visual picture, driving, phone number in the glove compartment. Okay, I hope he stopped somewhere. And called the car's owner. I'm sorry, I stole your car. I was saving my family. The man on the other end of the call replied, thank God. Don't worry. I have 4 cars. I took my family out in my SUV. I've refueled my other cars and left them in different places with the keys in them and the phone number in the glove compartment. From all 4 cars, I received a call back. Once there's peace, I hope we shall see each other. Stay safe. Wow. Peace begins with me. Now, I don't have 4 cars to leave scattered across Oklahoma City, and it's not the same situation that it is in the Ukraine. But still, peace begins with me. What do you do? What's yours to do? Happiness is driven by a state of mind, of consciousness, awareness, and we live life from a place of enthusiasm and joyous expectancy and positivity. Then it lifts our spirits and creates a pleasant aura about us. Life feels less like drudgery, regardless of how bad things may be in our circumstances or in the world. As my friend Jack can attest to, I can feel awful and still be happy. I can be in pain because my legs are not working, the hips right now are what's bothering him. Hips are not working the way that they should. And because of his paralysis, it's not easy to move around. And yet I'm happy. I can be happy. I can be joyful. Happiness does begin with me, right here and right now. It's my choice to be happy. It's my choice to take that happiness, that peace, and that love with me into my graduation of tonight and into tomorrow. And when I wake up tomorrow morning, I am so grateful for the opportunity to be where I am, to be who I am, to be connected to the divine in all ways. And so it is. Am I supposed to pray?